Welcome back, everyone, to our Author Success Series. And I am so excited. Honestly, I am overjoyed to be here today with the amazing, talented, brilliant Simona Spark. You are in for such a treat to hear. Simona and I are soul sisters. We have been on a journey together in many different ways and communities and groups. And it is such a thrill to get to be here at this point when Simona is preparing to launch her book. So first of all, welcome. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I'm just so grateful to be here. Thank you.
Well, it's really exciting because I think, people on the outside who've never done a book kind of look and go, oh, cool, you sat down and you typed some stuff in and I don't know, figured out somewhere for someone to make it into a, book. And until we've done it, we have no idea what the journey is like internally, what everything. So can you share a little bit about the book itself? Like, what is this story that you're bringing forward in this amazing book?
Yes, thank you. So the book is called Raising My Voice, the Memoir of an Immigrant. And it's speaking to that. It's speaking to my journey of finding my voice and really focusing more on the past decade of my life, where not only I find my voice, but it was really the journey of learning how to use my voice. So it is going back and forth through my life just to make the reader understand where I'm coming from and how, the belief system will form and, make us who we are and how we show up in the world. And connecting with the essence of who we are actually, and why are we here and what are you here for?
Yeah. Yes. And think about this. And never before, maybe, I don't know if that's true, but it feels to me like never before has it been more important for underrepresented voices, women, members of cultures that have not been essentially, if you're not a 7-year-old white man, that's rich, right? Like having voices of, like you said, your immigrant story, your journey as a woman, to find your own power. And I know the journey you've been on internally to just get to this point, to be brave, courageous, powerful, to share this story. What did you have to face? Because I know you, and you didn't just go, oh, this is the easiest thing in the world, I'm awesome, I'll write a book. Like that wasn't where you started. So what has this taken for you to get to a place where you have a publisher, you have a book coming out, you have a message that you're willing to stand and proclaim in writing and speaking? What did that take for you?
Everything. It took, writing a book for me still is a process of healing, a process of coming out of the hiding, a process of stepping into my own power and facing my own insecurities, mainly of being visible, mainly of who am I to share the story, what everybody will say about this. There is people, characters that I'm sharing about in my book, was a journey of what they're gonna think about it, how they're gonna judge me, how they're gonna see me, all this that unfortunately I'm not the only one facing those fears. And it really come down to owning my story, knowing that when we share the struggle that we went through and we are on the other side, it's when other people get a glimpse of hope that is possible for them as well. So a big part of the journey was, and as you know, I used to be someone who was homeless, and I lived in a shelter for 5 months. And, we have a lot of support there, and therapy and group therapy and all kind of exercises to keep us sane. And in my experience, none of that matter until someone from outside come in to share their story. until someone come in and use the words, I used to be where you are.
Mm.
And that's, for me, was something real, tangible. It's possible. I could have that. I could have a house outside of these walls.
Yeah.
So it's really, that's the deepest connection in writing my book.
Yeah.
Knowing and believing that there is people out there, they need to read, and they need to hear that story in order for them to just get up and keep on going.
Right. And this is what, I mean, my mission in life as a writer and a coach of writers and a thought leader is about that stories can save lives. It's the torch. We're in total darkness and someone actually brings us the torch and says, there's a way out, come follow me. And I just feel really emotional hearing, because I know you came and faced, I mean, I think it's hard to write in your first language. I think it's hard to write a book. Like, I speak English and I don't think writing's easy in English. So to think of coming and, sharing my story. And if I went to Romania, I went to, Italy, it's like, it's like, that is a whole nother piece of, gremlin, inner critic that comes up, like, oh, this isn't even your, and the clients that I've worked with that are writing in their second or third or fourth language, it's like, that's another, I think it's hard enough to write when you don't have that barrier, right? And
Right.
you persevered. Why was it so important? Why did you, because you could have walked away, right? You're a TEDx speaker, you have a amazing coaching, you teach, you didn't have to write a book, but so why was it important to do the book also?
I like that you touch on the second language, because it's a big part of my story and my identity. And there is so many out there that, like me, we put those limitations, fake limitation, as I call them now, of why we cannot do things. And I was talking about the last decade of my life was really coincide, moving from Romania to United States as a single mom. I have no family here, no friends, and I didn't speak English. And while I thought that I'm learning the language, which I did, and from outside in, we look, oh, this is someone who's just learning to speak English. Looking back, I realized that internally, all I was doing is learning how to express myself into the language. So not knowing the language and learning the language, it really silenced me internally, like thinking in Romanian and learn how to express what I'm thinking and feeling into a language that it's foreign.
Yeah.
And the beauty of that is that when you learn a new language, you have basic vocabulary.
Yes.
And everything is very simple and short.
Mm-hmm.
And here I am now, decade later, where I'm in this work on supporting other people to find a voice and step into their authenticity, and firing a lot of words from English vocabulary, my English vocabulary, because the mind tend to make everything so complex and sophisticated. And in order to be heard, we actually need a very short, simple vocabulary. So why now? I still don't have the answer, besides the fact that you just know. It's that divine timing, right? A lot of things happen, and I don't want to give away the whole story from the book.
That's right. You got to read it to get all of it.
But when something clicks in your being, and it's just like, I'm gonna go for it. And for those here, first person I called was you. It's like, Sara, I need help. This needs to come out right now. I don't know how. I don't know how I'm gonna do it. And I will say that it was possible with a lot of support. With your support, hiring other people to help me write it, to look in every word and the meaning and which word belong where. So again, it's coming down to believing in what you're called to do, and pull in all the support and investing in yourself so you could put this product out there to help others, because it's beyond my story. It really is. Unfortunately, it's not just my story, it's so many other people's stories.
Yes, it is. And yet a lot of people hold that in, right? They didn't have that one next step of saying, like, I've experienced this, and your book is about finding your voice, speaking from your voice, sharing that story. And then I believe in that Marianne Williamson idea of it gives others permission to do the same. Like you said, someone's going to know they're not alone, that they can be where you are. Someone who's come over and, like, I don't speak the language, I've had abuse, I'm in a shelter, I've lost everything, I don't even have a home, like, to then see you publishing a book and standing on the TEDx. I mean, that it rocks my world. I'll tell you that. Right. So I love this so much that you stayed in your yes, right? Because it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy. You could talk yourself out of it. All of us can. What has been the most exciting part for you? I know the day when you messaged me and said, I have a publisher, me, like, what was that like to make that connection and say, like, this publisher has, because they're pretty selective. Like, I've met the owner of Pina, and they don't take anybody, it's something you had to be selected and through their rigorous process. So what did that feel like?
Well, believe it or not, after all this work, is that coming back to that validation, to that, oh, you matter, your story matter.
Mm.
And I know it's an old belief in my in my experience, but having somebody says, yes, okay, I'm going to help you write it. Having somebody says, yes, I'm going to help you publish it. Yes, I'm going to do the graphic design on your cover. Yes, we're going to print your book. It's just validation after validation. And the reviews, people like, yes, I'm going to read your book and give you a feedback. And, you and so many others, like people that I admire and leaders and people that I, not too long ago, look at them like they're some gods that I get to follow. And now they're like, yes, of course, I'm going to read your book and write a review. I'll be honored to give you feedback. And it's just that constant validation. I don't have another word. That's what my mind knows that it is, but is the essence of, yeah, I matter. I matter, you matter, our story matter, and it's all about finding the right people that keep us keep on going.
Completely. And that's my journey too, finding that right mentor who was able to hold that belief in me when I couldn't, right? And see the bigger vision. And so and it's so exciting. Simona, last thing I wanted to ask is what's possible for you now? Is anything different because you're now a published book author, right? Is there anything like inside you, or how sometimes, because sometimes it's getting a degree, sometimes it's learning a new language, sometimes it's achieving some kind of rank in our profession, like, and we suddenly think, well, now I'm going to go for this. Like, is there anything now that you feel is available to you that is different because you're a book author?
Look, as I said, the whole journey was a journey of healing. That being said, I recommend everyone to write a story, like everyone, just write your story. Write it and decide later if you're going to publish it or not, but just put it on the paper. It's a process of healing. Now, from the day the book was done and we walk into this process of publishing and other people read it, it was a deeper level of healing again, because my identity shift. And it's not about, oh, no, I'm this, published author and writing the book and visibility. Yes, it's just still that, like, my whole life is going to be out there for the whole world to see, like talking about visibility. And it started like, oh my God, I cannot let anybody know about this. And today I'm like, I cannot wait for people to read it. Yes. So what's possible? Anything. Yeah. Anything, because it's we come out of that hiding into full visibility, put it black on white, publish out into the world. Hiding doesn't even belong in the vocabulary anymore. It's like, I'm here. How can I support you?
Yes, Simona. Where can people find you? Where's the best place if they want to? We're gonna, of course, you all have the link to the book and everything. So where we've got you there. Other people, they want to connect with what else you're doing. The next, where you're going to be leading people next. What's the best place?
The best place is my website, simonaspark.com. So there is all my services, the book, the
Yeah.
online academy, the podcast, everything that I'm doing is there.
So we're going to give some of the biggest like virtual magic hands. Love. I'm so grateful for you. I'm grateful for you taking this stand, for your yes, for sharing this story. I'm so touched by your book and I can't wait for you all to read it and just go on this journey because Simona's healing is your healing, is all of our healing. So thank you. I can't wait to see what happens next. I know so much more is in store and we're wishing you all the success in the world.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your support all this time. And thank you everyone for reading my book. Thank you.
That's fine.